So, the Vancouver Canucks are back in action today against the Los Angeles Kings, and we have some pretty big roster moves to dive into, as well as a big trade update. So, without further ado, let's head over onto Twitter and take a look at what Kevin Lankinen is up to. Rick Dhaliwal said this earlier in the morning. He has been told, do not rule out Kevin Lankinen in goal for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. This, of course, comes a few days after Kevin Lankinen decided to leave the Vancouver Canucks. He left on a personal... they didn't technically say it was a leave of absence like a JT Miller, but he left for personal reasons. Seems like there's a chance he can be back now for the Vancouver Canucks. Nikita Tolopilo, obviously, played the most recent 2 games for this hockey team and admittedly looked pretty alright. But Lankinen this season is at an .880 save percentage, .363 goals against in 13 games. His numbers have not been spectacular, but when you look at the quality of defense that's in front of him, it makes a lot more sense why seemingly all of these goaltenders have had worse numbers than they're used to. But also, on the chopping block, as posted about by Dhaliwal, it might be time to give Jonathan Lekkerimaki a look in Vancouver soon. This all comes off the heels of Lekkerimaki scoring a bomb for the Abbotsford Canucks earlier yesterday against the Tucson Roadrunners. He had an absolute lock and load moment. He was on that left flank and he fired the one-timer in. That's what he does, right? Jonathan Lekkerimaki is so good with his shot, and his offense-first mentality certainly will lend itself positively long-term. And that's exactly what happened a short moment after Dhaliwal mentioned this. The Canucks have called up Lekkerimaki, and they have sent down Patera. Now, it is kind of bizarre just to look at this outcome, how the Canucks have called up a forward, they sent down a goalie, Kevin Lankinen comes back, and the Canucks have maybe too many forwards at hand afterwards. Who knows what the future has in store for some of the bottom-of-the-lineup guys. I'm thinking a Reichel, I'm thinking a Arshdeep Baines. Who knows what's going to happen, but for now, this is the situation. Lekkerimaki is up, Patera is down. Kevin Lankinen potentially can get the start today, but I don't think it's been confirmed by anybody. Who is going to be the starter? Yeah, we don't know at this moment in time. Still no announcement on that front. But whether it is Tolopilo or Lankinen, we'll wait and see. However, this is not the only piece of Vancouver Canucks-related media that I wanted to dive into today. Because earlier this morning, you had the folks on RG.org going out there and giving the latest on the Boston Bruins. Let's go out there and read this tweet. Boston is exploring scoring help, and league sources say the Bruins have checked in on Kiefer Sherwood and Conor Garland. Sherwood is drawing interest from multiple East teams, while Garland remains a core piece in Vancouver. Full report is going to be linked over here in the description. It was published by James Murphy earlier this morning. Key takeaways from the article: why are the Bruins calling Vancouver? Boston is seeking added scoring depth and have inquired specifically about Sherwood and Garland as options to help keep pace in the East. How available are these guys? Well, Sherwood is drawing heavy league-wide interest and is considered movable given his production and low cap hit. Garland, meanwhile, is viewed internally as a core piece, and Vancouver isn't looking to move him. Bruh, that is like totally contradictory to what was reported about last week. Okay, let's just continue here. Who else is in the mix for Sherwood? The Islanders, Sabres, and Red Wings have also expressed interest, positioning Sherwood as one of the more active names on Vancouver's trade board. Oh boy, that is absolutely huge. Taking a look at a whole bunch of other big-name teams. Detroit going out there and getting a Kiefer Sherwood, I would love that for my Wings. Let's go out there and read just some of the reports from these NHL sources. According to numerous folks around the NHL world, even before recent injuries to Pastrnak and Zacha, Boston Bruins GM Don Sweeney has been on the hunt for depth scoring to help the surprising Bruins stay in the hunt in the tight Eastern Conference standings. RG has learned through an NHL source close to the situation that two players Sweeney has recently inquired about are Canucks wingers Sherwood and Garland. They have 100% called on both players. They want scoring and believe that with some more, this team can definitely stay in the race and make some noise. Scrolling down here, I was told the Islanders, Sabres, and Red Wings also expressed interest in Sherwood. Another source told RG.org. As for Garland, this is not the first time that Sweeney has expressed NHL trade interest in the 29-year-old Massachusetts native. As reported by Boston Hockey Now, leading into the 2022 trade deadline, the Bruins looked into acquiring Garland, whom the Canucks chose to keep for 3 more seasons and recently signed to a 6-year, $6 million AAV contract back on July 1st. According to the same source, though, as the Bruins were told by the Canucks 3 years ago, Garland is not one of the players that Vancouver is looking to trade at this time. They still really consider him a core player and a heart and soul guy that can score. So right now, they're not moving him, the second source told RG. Of course, if the Canucks really go into the tank and someone knocks their socks off with an offer, you never know. Now those are 2 words that I kind of like hearing in the same sentence, Canucks and tank. Oh yeah, baby, let's go out there and talk about that team tank. Anyways, Rick Dhaliwal did have an update relating to this RG report. He mentioned Boston earlier this week. It wouldn't surprise me if the Wild and Sharks also checked in on Kiefer Sherwood. The Wild for sure. So it seems like Kiefer Sherwood trade talks have really started to run rampant, and this all comes shortly after Ian McIntyre's report last week discussing whether or not Sherwood could have already played his last game with the Vancouver Canucks. And it's all for good reason, too. Sherwood has been very productive. He's 30 years old. He's on the last year of a very cheap contract, $1.5 million AAV. That is such a good number for a guy who is on pace for 39 goals this season. Yes, it's true, Sherwood has been pointless his last little while, but ever since he started getting those assists up, he has been a very productive player. He has been on pace for 50-plus points the entire year. There's so much to like out of Sherwood, the tenacity, the goal scoring, the underrated shot. Not to mention the agitative qualities. This is a perfect guy to play in Boston, if I'm going to be honest. The style that they want to enforce, the support they could use throughout the lineup. Kiefer Sherwood is admittedly a perfect fit for what it is they're trying to build over there. Not to mention Conor Garland, who of course has his roots in Massachusetts and also plays with a lot of tenacity. Maybe not with the same shot ability that a Kiefer Sherwood has, but with more, let's just say, passing, more projectable top 6 quality offense. He has been a 50-point winger most of his NHL career in Vancouver. Kiefer Sherwood is only on pace to do that for the first time this season. But at the end of the day, Boston, Detroit, New York Islanders, the Sabres, all these teams checking in on Kiefer Sherwood, not to mention the Boston Bruins and Conor Garland as well. It does seem like Vancouver trade talk is running rampant, and this all comes after the roster moves today of Patera down, Lekkerimaki up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all these Canucks news and notes, the actual roster moves that were made, and potential trade options for Sherwood and Garland. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British sign on, and bye.